How do you become better at making life choices? By knowing really what you want. One of the reasons that making decisions is so difficult is we don't really know what we want. We have theories of what we want. We have things that we know we should want to want. But we may not actually want them. And so, for example, let's say I decide that I want to get healthy, okay? Maybe I'm diabetic, maybe I'm overweight, maybe I've got high cholesterol, whatever it may be, and I've decided, okay, I want to get healthy. In order to get healthy, I need to eat better, and I need to exercise, and right? And every time I sit down at a restaurant to eat and I look at the menu, I order junk food. High calorie, high grease, high sugar, junk food. And every time I have an opportunity to exercise, so say I buy a gym membership and I decide, okay, every day, every morning, before I go to the office, I'm going to go to the gym. And every morning, I pick up my phone and I get on Facebook. And the next thing I know, it's 45 minutes later and my time to go to the gym is over. And now I have to quickly jump in the shower to go to work. Now you could say that ordering unhealthy food and sitting on Facebook instead of going to the gym are not good decisions. But here's what we have to understand about them. If really what I wanted was to be healthier, I would order differently in the restaurant. I'd get off my rear end in the morning and I'd go to the gym. It wouldn't be easy. Starting a new habit, inculcating new things, it takes a little while. Inertia is a very powerful force. Habits are very powerful forces. But you can overcome them. If a doctor said to you, you've got a week to live unless you start exercising, you'd exercise. Just as about what the motivation is. And so what we have to realize in that case is, I guess I don't really want to be healthy more than I really want to enjoy French fries. Or more than I really want to have lazy mornings on Facebook. Or more than I really want to stay identified in this stuck, unhealthy place for whatever psychological reason that is playing in my life. I have to look at those things. So the first piece is to really identify, what do you want? Because once we really know what we want, making the right decisions is actually much easier. No matter what we want. If I decide that my highest goal in life is to make $10 billion, my highest goal in life is to be the richest person on the planet. Well, my decisions are going to follow suit. No, I'm not going to go for tea with you on Saturday afternoon. I got to go to the office. I'm sorry? Right. If you were going to be one who took money from people or charged them or did things, like that, sure. But not nearly as effective as going to the office and actually working for it. But that's what I would do. Work 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. I'd forsake my health. I'd forsake my family. I'd make choices in line with what I really wanted. But if what I really wanted is to experience the truth of who I am, or if really what I wanted was to just live in love, I'd make choices accordingly. Doesn't mean I wouldn't have a job, but it might mean I wouldn't work 7 days a week. Might mean I'd work more reasonable hours, maybe earn less. I certainly wouldn't become the richest person in the world. But that would be okay because that wasn't my goal. The dilemma is, until we understand really what do we want, not what do my parents tell me I should have, not does what the culture tell me I should have, not what I want to have. A lot of us do that. I want to be one of those people who wants to make a lot of money. I want to be one of those people who wants to be successful. But that's very different than actually wanting those things. Maybe what you want is something completely different. Maybe what you want is the freedom to travel all over the world. Maybe if what that means is your only house is a tent, so be it. It's worth it to you. So we have to understand, what do we want on this plane, on this physical plane, but also understand what do we want on a deeper level. Because if you take any of the things that we want, so if we went around the room and I said to you, what do you want? What do you want in life? What's your highest goal? And we've done this before. What gets shouted out are things like success, financial success, love, joy, peace, power, all sorts of things. But when we dissect them, so when you actually take any of those highest goals that people have, you actually dissect them and you get down to the deepest, corest level, what they all come to is joy, happiness. That's the core yearning. But a happiness, a joy that stays, not one that goes up and down, not one that's rooted in the stock market. One that isn't dependent on what's happening in the world around me, one that's pervasive. And the only way to have that is to be free. In life, I have to be free from all of that keeps me stuck. Wants, desires, absolutely. They're a massive chain on us. But another massive chain is ego. Ego is that voice that tells you you're too old, you're too young, you're too poor, you're too rich, you're too fat, you're too stupid, you're too nice, you're not nice enough, you're this, you're that. Have to be free from identity that says this is your box, this is who you are. Because nothing else could give me constant joy unless I'm free. Because if I have desires that are trapping me, that I'm attached to fulfilling, if I have an ego that's in the driver's seat of my life, if I have an identity that I'm attached to and wrapped up in, then something other than my highest self is pulling the strings. So I'm then not free. So when I know what my highest goal is, both here on this plane but connected to the ultimate reality, consciousness, divinity that I'm part of, that is who I am at the core. Then, every time we make a decision, that question has to simply be asked to us, or we ask ourselves, which decision is most in line with what I really want? And then it becomes much simpler. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that there's always only one right decision. When you realize that it's not about how much money you make or how much acclaim you get or how big your house is or any of these external things that a lot of us base our life decisions on, when we realize that that's not what life is actually about, because it isn't what gives us what we actually want, well then you may find yourself in a situation with 10 equally good possibilities. And that's wonderful. Choose any of them. But if you find that you're making decisions that turn out to be the wrong decisions, you've got to take a step back and ask yourself, do I think I want something different than what I really want? Like, does my subconscious want something different than what I'm trying to tell myself I want? So am I telling myself I want to be an engineer, but I'm failing every math class even though I'm smart? Is there something in my subconscious that's saying, no, 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 I want to be a musician, I want to be an artist, I don't want to be an engineer? And so it's self-sabotaging? Or is there something in me that says, you're too stupid, you'll never be an engineer, you'll never succeed, that's self-sabotaging for that reason? Why am I making decisions that turn out wrong? Or another way is, maybe they don't turn out wrong. Just because they're not decisions that necessarily get me the job offer or give me the money that I wanted or gave me that acclaim or gave me that success, that doesn't mean it was the wrong decision. If we realize that ultimately the purpose of our life is to wake up spiritually, and you've made a decision that may have not been so great on a financial level or a career level or a lot of other levels, but it has thrust you into a situation where you've got no choice but to drop deep, well then it was the right decision. And it was a decision that a part of you that you may not be consciously aware of was making, because it knew, I need to have that experience in order to have the awakening that I need. So don't be so quick to judge yourself of wrong or right, but do be inquisitive about your own actual core desires. Because it's really important for us all to know, what do I want? And then take steps toward it. And don't let anybody else tell you what you should want. That's when you get stuck. Figure out, really, what do you want? But don't sell yourself short. Means don't satisfy yourself with, oh, I just want to have a nice house and a nice car and, nice marriage and nice kids and food on the table. I mean, that's great. May God bless you that you should have all those things. But don't sell yourself short in life. That's not the highest goal. You're put on earth to experience a lot more than that. So go deep and go high. And figure out really what you want. Because whatever it is, you deserve it.